Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, the Georgia school shooter has been identified and his picture released, plus new shocking details about his toxic family emerge. We're uncovering this and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Weekend Review. Welcome to the Gateway Pundit's Weekend Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours in around 10 minutes. Our top story today is a combination story as the 14-year-old Georgia shooter was identified, faces murder charges, and will be tried as an adult. Jim Hoff reported earlier that a tragic active shooter situation unfolded at the Appalachia High School on Wednesday morning. It led to the deaths of at least 4 people and the injuring of 30 others. The incident occurred around 10:30 a.m. Now authorities have identified the shooter as 14-year-old Colt Gray, a student at the school. But who is the shooter and why is this important? Well, just today, this was released and currently trending. The Georgia school shooter Colt Gray's picture released, disturbing obsession with Parkland massacre revealed. Check this out. After the tragedy struck the high school, the shooter was identified, as we mentioned, as the 14-year-old Colt Gray, a student who was apprehended by law enforcement. Now, according to reports, the CNN and Georgia Bureau investigation, 9 of the injured were rushed to local hospitals for emergency treatment. Tragically, 4 individuals, 2 students and 2 teachers, were pronounced dead at the scene. Now, Gray, who surrendered without resistance to a school resource officer, is now in custody. But why is this significant? Listen to this. GBI Director Chris Hosey confirmed that Gray will be tried as an adult for his heinous crimes. And according to the Daily Mail, Colt Gray has been charged with 4 counts of felony murder and stated additional charges are expected. Now that a picture of Colt Gray has been released, which we see here, what has shaken the public even more is the revelation that he was obsessed with infamous school shootings, according to the New York Times. According to investigators, a search of Gray's home uncovered disturbing evidence linking the young boy to the 2018 Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, where 17 people were killed, which is actually right by this studio, just about 15 minutes south. Authorities also discovered that Gray had been involved in a May 2023 incident in which police questioned him about his father and about threatening comments made on a Discord channel. The channel, which had a Russian username that translated to Lanza, the nod to Sandy Hook shooter Adam Lanza, reportedly included threats of future school shooting. Now, Gray, however, denied responsibility, claiming his account had been hacked. But the FBI was aware of him since at least 2023. Police had spoke to him and his dad, but said they closed down their investigation. Now, the crazy thing is his family has since remained mostly silent, except now his family came out directly and started saying, look, you can't begin to judge how difficult life is and what this teenager went through. It appears that his family is now justifying his actions, perhaps even saying, look, he might be the victim in all of this. The strangest thing is, number one, we have a school shooter who's known by law enforcement, but they did nothing. We find out that, of course, he was surrendered without resistance. He was known to have made threats about school shootings, but he denied it, and the officers just took a child at their word. Let's just take children at their word. And then on top of that, his family's now coming out and saying, oh, well, it's really hard to be him. I think it was one of his aunts are defending him. So maybe his toxic family had a play. Well, we'll continue to track the story as it goes on. Our next story is that Sean Hannity was physically unable to interview Donald Trump thanks to the shocking roar of crowds showing that his popularity is more contagious than ever. Watch this clip. He could barely begin the interview. Listen.
Actually, they keep saying 60, but it starts in Delaware and North Carolina and other places a lot sooner than that. So I think we're going to be very well set up to do a great job. And do we love Pennsylvania? Do we love it? Let me ask you. Mr. President, let me ask you this. Between Thank you.
Well, the contagious support is encouraging, right? It shows us that the populace is behind him. He is a bit of a populist leader. But in retrospect, the main issue that I have with this is not the fact that he's popular, but that people think that you need to actually win an election to win. I mean, these systems are rigged. They're ready to cheat more than they've ever been ready. So we've got to be on board, but it's nice to see that people are supporting him. Our next story is a little bit less important, but Barron Trump's college decision was revealed as he shows up to his first day of classes, flanked by Secret Service. For obvious security reasons, former first son Barron Trump's choice of college has been kept under wraps. After all, his father has no shortage of enemies. both the mainstream and deranged. But with the start of the new school year, it was going to be all but impossible to keep the young Trump schools secret much longer. And thanks to the prying eyes and a boastful father, the cat is out of the bag. Trump has selected New York University as his Institute of Higher Learning. Barron, the youngest son of the GOP presidential candidate and former President Donald Trump and former First Lady Melania Trump, will be attending business school at NYU. He was accepted to a lot of colleges, former President Trump told the UK's Daily Mail. The 45th president then proudly added he's a very bright and smart guy. He'll be going to Stern, the business school, which is great school at NYU. The New York Post also reported on Barron Trump's college debut, explaining that's what happened. Now, that's pretty cool because I think he actually lives in New York with his mom in Trump Tower, although there may have been a change in that. Now, recently, commentator Bret Weinstein went on to Joe Rogan, and he talked a little bit about how the Democrats are going to cheat again in the next election. Listen.
Maybe it was the Kennedy assassination. One good book on the Kennedy assassination. I was like, God damn it, they killed the fucking president. It freaked me out forever. That was like, I literally had a giant shift in how I viewed the world after reading that book. Because before that, I was never a questioner of whatever was in the news or whatever the narrative was that we were being told about anything.
Well, but I mean, I have exactly the same reaction to that story, and I've been down that rabbit hole. And I think you're just ultimately left with a question. Something happened in 1963. That's before either of us were born, right?
Right.
That thing was either an anomaly that robbed the nation of a president, and the nation continued to be a democratic republic in the aftermath of it, or that was interference with democracy, and we don't know how to look at all of the seemingly democratic things that have happened since. How much of what has happened since are the people who took control with that assassination? How much is them continuing to maintain control with a certain amount of democracy? And how much was that an aberration that then returned us to our normal course? And
that's a good point. A certain amount of democracy.
A certain amount. There's clearly a certain amount.
Yeah. Well, which is one of the reasons why they're so terrified of Trump. Like, there's a certain amount of the stealing they can do. If let's imagine if it is dirty and you really can manipulate elections, how much can you manipulate by? Can you manipulate it by 30%? You know, because we don't know. And as long as they can have you believing in the polls, this is what's really important. Polls. Kamala Harris is up by 3%. Oh, she's up. She's winning. Like, who the fuck are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Right. And
you're not talking to me.
What narrative is it in which Kamala has done something that might have caused a surge in her popularity?
And they bring up that interesting point explaining that, look, they cheated and they can cheat again, but are we going to outweigh them by making sure that we outvote? Basically, we come to the polls in the ways that they can't even cheat by the margins, right? Now, in the middle of this, have you ever wondered what happened to legendary Chuck Norris? He's obviously a cool guy. I recently watched a video that he made and I was shocked. Now, he's obviously in his 80s. He's pretty old, but he's still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. Now, he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure that you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/pundit or by clicking the link below in the video. It'll change the way that you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/PUNDIT and click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder that Chuck is 84 years old and yet has more energy than me. He discovered that he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description below at chuckdefense.com/pundit. Now, as I mentioned, our last story today is quite interesting. It's the idea that WALZ'S family has sort of turned on him. Tim Walz's family snubs Harris-Walz and endorses Trump. You see a picture there. Tim Walz's family in Nebraska endorsed President Trump. The family of Kamala Harris's running mate is backing Trump. This tweet came out from Benny Johnson, a very popular commentator, saying that the entire family of Kamala Harris, running mate Tim Walz, just endorsed Trump. This is the greatest troll of the 2024 election. President Trump thanked Tim Walz's brother, Jeff Walz, saying, "Thank you very much, Jeff. It is a great honor to have your endorsement. I look forward to meeting you soon." And what a fantastic picture by the legendary Charlie Kirk saying, We're all for Trump, and I know you are too. For the Gateway Pundits Week in Review, I'm Elijah Schaffer. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Share this link with your friends and family. And if you want to support the Gateway Pundit, sign up for our mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.